What's up guys, Joe Drake here with the Axiom Fitness Academy, and welcome to the perfect workout formula breakdown. And this is gonna be somewhat specific to the Axiom Fitness Academy terminology, but really trying to take all these concepts that are out there about mobility and flexibility and dynamic warm-ups and simplify it into a process that you can complete and still customize for clients on a daily basis. So first off, we call the two pieces of every warm-up. Doesn't matter the client, doesn't matter the goal, doesn't matter the length of the session. We break it down into prep and into prime, all right? So prep and prime, two pieces of every warm-up, and we call it that because I think it helps us focus on the specifics of what we're trying to achieve for each client in these different pieces, all right? So like I said, especially as you start to learn more and more about the human anatomy, the body, movement assessments, it's pretty easy to start walking around and realizing how broken everybody is. First off, not everyone's broken, right? Our clients are capable of so many amazing things, but obviously as coaches, we want to help people move better, no doubt. And it's very easy to all of a sudden turn half of our training session, the whole thing, into a mobility and a flexibility session. And if they're coming in for that, if that's their primary goal, cool, right? It's a service industry and we want to deliver on that. But for a lot of clients, they're coming in for other goals, right? And it's easy for us to get caught up on all the issues that they might have, but it took them a lifetime to develop those things. It's gonna take some time to resolve them as well. So this process also helps us kind of focus in, dial in on just a couple things each day, knowing hopefully that we have multiple training sessions with them throughout the week, and it's gonna take time in order for us to make these things shift anyways, all right? So first off, inside of prep, I wanna highlight a couple things for you guys. In our idea, especially in an hour training session, we should probably be spending no more than 8 to 12 minutes in total on this dynamic warm-up process. I think we can accomplish a lot in these 8 to 12 minutes if you go in with the right approach. All right, so in this first 4 to 6 minutes with somebody, our focus inside of prep is exactly that. Prepare the body for the positions that we're gonna be getting into throughout their workout, as well as focus on, in this piece, focus on maybe some what you might call correctives or some linchpins, as other people use terminology, some areas of need, okay? So let's say, and we're gonna give you guys some examples here in a few once we get down to the ground to make it all make sense, but this might be where, you know what, we're working on some joint mobility. So you might be doing some myofascial release, some foam rolling with clients. Some of that's gonna come here in this first part, in the prep phase of our workout, because our goal there is trying to improve range of motion in any joints we might need it. Not only we might need it for that person, they've got a goal of improving ankle range of motion, but also for the workout that we're gonna be doing. So we really wanna make sure that we're customizing the moves we choose, not only to the person, but also the workout that day. If we're doing an upper body workout and we're focused on ankle and hip mobility, well, we might be able to shift those things around as we prioritize their week. So either way, joint mobility, a lot of stuff we could do here. We'll give you guys some different examples, but it could be where you're spending time myofascial release, maybe doing some static or some active stretching, different techniques, little things here. Joint mobility. Then going into what we say isolated activation. So if you guys are a part of the Axiom Academy and you guys are going through some of our courses, the NASM approach really is this focus on opening up and improving mobility in areas that need it, and then also strengthening the areas that are weak, right? And that's a big thing. We want to focus on strengthening through range of motion. So right after we end up doing a little bit of joint mobility, we want to go right into some isolated activation. Isolated meaning a little bit more concentrated, maybe single joint. So good examples here would, let's say I'm working on some joint mobility in the quads and the hip flexors, which we'll go through, and maybe we'll want to focus on firing up the backside, right? The opposite side of the body. So doing some isolated glute bridges, double leg, single leg. That's gonna be a great flow right here. All right, and you can start to think about all the other moves that you might have in your Rolodex of warm-up exercises on how they would fit in. But primarily in these first 4 to 6 minutes, we're focused on joint mobility and isolated activation of certain areas that we need it for the workout or they might need it for greater performance. All right, if we do it right, 4 to 6 minutes, we're probably only gonna choose between 3 to 5 moves. Right, you could do it for repetitions. It also works really well here to just choose a few moves, do them for a certain amount of time so you're getting good quality reps, and then move on from there so we can get on to the rest of our warm-up. So after we've completed that prep, then we're going into prime, all right? So with our warm-ups, of course, we are increasing intensity, we're increasing range of motion and movement as we move into the actual workout itself. So prime is gonna be that. Now we're looking at, we wanna prime the body. Not only prime the body more fully for the movements we're gonna be doing, but also the intensity level we're gonna be training at. So if we look at what we're trying to accomplish in a warm-up, all right, we may have some tissue extensibility. We're improving some mobility, flexibility here. This is probably where even more of our temperature increase is gonna come. This is also where some of our additional neurological priming, right? Things like post-activation potentiation are gonna come in. So here, we're talking integrated activation. Now the difference between these two, isolated, we're looking maybe more so at one joint. Integrated, we're doing less intense versions of the exercises they're gonna do in their training session, right? So if someone's gonna be back squatting, well, maybe we're body weight squatting here in a more integrated fashion. So we're bringing more joints into the equation, right? So you can apply that to a lot of different scenarios. But integrated activation, you know, some larger exercises, you know, more dynamic movements. And then neurological priming. We want to think about the neurological system, not only sending signals to the body, so there could be some stabilization, some stability, could still be some single leg stuff here as we're trying to send signals from the brain to the body, but it's also where a lot of people could benefit from a little bit of some power potentially, and doesn't mean it has to be impact, but something to get those signals being sent to the muscle. So any post-activation potentiation, if we're doing any SAQ or plyometric stuff, it's gonna come at a good phase here after we've accomplished 3 to 5 moves already, or any type of power training. And again, if we're being efficient, 4 to 6 minutes, 3 to 5 moves, and they should be able to move into their training session after that. So again, the only other scenario you may spend, I have 4 to 6 minutes plus. If you are working with someone who does have more goals, more athletic-based goals, this may phase into more SAQ plyo drills, so you've got flexibility. But either way, it's gonna make it easier for you as you guys are planning workouts. No more than 3 to 5 moves that are addressing mobility, right? Isolated activation. No more than 3 to 5 moves to now bring the intensity up a little bit. And hopefully by then, we're seeing a little sweat and we're seeing them more prepared for their sessions. But I want you guys to follow me down to the ground now as we give you guys some more practical example of what this looks like inside the gym.